Welcome to the Edu-Web Services channel. Be sure to subscribe to this channel by clicking the subscription button below so that you do not miss our weekly posts. Have you ever felt lost while reading a passage or piece of writing, having stumbled upon words you do not understand? Or perhaps you've struggled to understand the author's message or deeper meaning behind a story or piece of writing. If you or someone you know has these challenges, then this lesson is for you. In today's lesson, we will be looking at context clues, what they are, why they are important, and some ways in which we can use context clues. Let's break this concept down to better understand it. We will begin by looking at what context clues mean. First, let's look at the word context. Context is the discussion that surrounds a word or concept that helps us to determine what that word or what that concept means. So it's the situation in which a word or concept occurs. And when we examine that situation carefully, that situation might be a discussion, it might be a sentence, a paragraph, some portion of texts. So when we examine it carefully, we will find that there are some things within that discussion, within that context, that will help us to understand the meaning of that word. Now let's look at the word clues. Clues, on the other hand, are hints or evidences that help to solve a problem. So when we put the two concepts together, context clues, therefore, are the hints or evidences found within the context. That is, within the discussion, which is oftentimes a sentence or a paragraph or a reading passage. And so those hints or evidences will help the reader to better understand the meaning of the word or concept that he or she is uncertain about. Here are a few things to note about context clues. Some words can have several meanings. For example, the word bark. The word bark can refer to the sound a dog makes or part of a tree or woody plant. Context clues should not be relied upon strictly. In fact, there are some guidelines we should follow when using context clues. Here are a few. You should rely on context clues when they provide a meaning to a word that is obvious. If you're expected to give a precise or exact meaning for a word, you should not rely on context clues. In such cases, you should use a dictionary, since context clues only give us suggested or implied meaning. The suggested or implied meaning of a word is referred to as the connotative meaning of that word, and the precise or exact meaning of a word is referred to as the denotative meaning of that word. Now, let's look at some types of context clues, beginning with definition or description clues. In some cases, where the meaning of a word is being sought in a given context or discussion, in this case, in a sentence, we may find that the very meaning of that word or a description of it can be found in the discussion. Let's look at these sentences. The first reads, her emaciation, that is, her skeleton-like appearance, was difficult to see. Emaciation is the unknown word. This is the word for which meaning is being sought. Her emaciation, that is, her skeleton-like appearance. Skeleton-like appearance is a description of this word. Her skeleton-like appearance was difficult to see. So in this sentence, in this context, we are presented with a description clue that helps us to appreciate what this word means. Emaciation means skeleton-like appearance. In the second sentence, I would like to be a pediatrician, a specialist in the care of babies. I would like to be a pediatrician. Pediatrician is the unknown word. A specialist in the care of babies is the definition for the word pediatrician. And this shows that in some contexts, we may be presented with the definition for the word that we're seeking clarity on. In some contexts, the examples given about a word we are trying to understand can help paint a clearer picture of what that word means. Let's read the sentence. Celestial bodies such as the sun, moon, and stars are wonders of nature. So we're trying to understand what celestial bodies mean. What is this concept talking about? Celestial bodies such as, and represented here with some examples, the sun, moon, and stars. Right away we can identify these as objects in the sky. So we're able to appreciate that celestial bodies may mean objects in the sky. Synonym clues. The unknown word may be understood with the help of synonyms. Synonyms are words which are similar in meaning or idea, and so they are synonym clues. Let's read this sentence and look for some such clues. The crowd was rough and fierce. It was boisterous. Boisterous is the unknown word in this context. Rough and fierce are synonyms of the word boisterous. These words carry similar meaning or idea. The crowd was rough and fierce. It was boisterous. These words help to paint the picture of the crowd being uncontrollable. And so we get the idea that boisterous may mean uncontrollable, rough, and fierce. Antonym clues. Antonym clues. In antonym clues, or we can call them opposite meaning context clues, the unfamiliar word may be contrasted with a familiar term that will help to clarify the unfamiliar word. The sentence reads, the pupils of the eyes contract in brightened light. However, when it is darker, they dilate. The pupils of the eyes contract in brightened light. However, when it is darker, they dilate. So we have a contrast created by this word, however. One thing is happening in one situation and another is happening in another situation. The unknown word in this context, in this discussion, or in this sentence is dilate. So let's read that sentence again to understand the meaning of the word dilate. The pupils of the eyes contract, they close in brightened light. However, the opposite happens when it is darker. So if they close in brightened light, what do you think they're going to do when it is darker? They dilate. So this gives us the impression that they open. It creates such a meaning and understanding in our minds. Antonym clues. Inference clues. In some contexts, sufficient clues might be available for the careful reader to make a good guess at the meaning of the unfamiliar word or concept. These types of clues are called inference clues. Let's read this sentence and see if we can find some such clues that will help us to understand the meaning of the word vapid. She told her friend, I'm through with blind dates forever. What a dull evening. I was bored every minute. The conversation was absolutely vapid. Within this context, we can feel almost what this person is saying. She told her friend, "I'm through with blind dates forever. What a dull evening. I was bored every minute. The conversation was absolutely vapid." The context sets the tone for the meaning of this word. And so you get the impression that vapid means dull, boring, lacking taste. Context clues are important because they help us to improve our vocabulary and improve our understanding of the story and the hidden meanings that it may possibly contain. And when we understand the hidden meanings in a story or in a piece of writing, we will also have deeper respect for the message that the author or the writer is trying to convey. Do not forget to subscribe for more educational videos and be sure to look out for fresh content every Monday and Friday. To challenge what you have learned today, there is a worksheet at the link in the video description below. Have fun completing the exercises and see you next time.